Give me top 2 or 3 Penn State moments, whether on the field, classroom, in the dorms, whatever it may be. Top 2, 3, 1, whatever.
Okay. When I think about my Penn State and the time there, the one moment that I'll never forget is was the locker room after the Wisconsin game, 2013. I think that we all played well in that game, and I think that was a big moment. We were speaking of being big underdogs. What were we, 28-point underdogs? Remember Bill O'Brien? He's like 28-point fucking underdogs. I remember before the game, even like that week of practice, I think it was like O'Brien never would talk about like outside noise, outside media. I remember the Vegas lines came out and it was 28 points, and he like came in 20. I think it was 28, and he came in the team meeting room and he just started the meeting. He's like, 28 points, 28-point underdogs against Wisconsin, and he just like went on one of his rants. But that was a big week. I mean, that was a fun time.
I'm going to interject here. Do you remember? I think it was after the walkthrough, because we had like a shitty walkthrough, and he came in and lit us up about that, and then he stormed out of the team meeting. Do you remember that? He stormed out of the team meeting room, went up the thing, and all you just heard him was screaming, like kicking fucking trash cans as he's walking up the thing, and like everyone was like. Oh, even the coaching staff was like, "Where's he going?" Like everyone was like, "What is going on?" He just walked out. It was like 24-point dogs. You kidding me? Because trash can goes and he's just walking, and like you hear the door slam, and he's still screaming as he's walking out. Lash going up to the coach's office. I remember that like it was yesterday. Now that you brought that up, that was hilarious.
We need OB on there. We got to reach out to OB. And I mean, the Patriots are going through a little rough patch right now, but
Bebo, you remember when Hack missed the meeting? You remember that?
That was like
it was right after Michigan.
Yeah, it's like OB's like kid, like his own son.
Oh, it was like his son. He was so disappointed, dude. Dude, I'll never forget Charlie Fisher.
For half the damn meeting.
I'll never forget Charlie Fisher, who was the quarterback's coach. O'Brien's like middle of the meeting, and he's like, "Where's Christian?" Because he sat right in the middle, and then O'Brien's like looking around. He's like, "Where the hell's Christian?" And then Charlie Fisher, the quarterback's coach, is like sitting right there, and now he starts panicking. And then O'Brien's like, "Charlie, where's Christian?" And Charlie Fisher was like, "I thought you knew where he was." And that was the wrong answer.
Where were you, Christian? That's the question.
And O'Brien was like, "Go fucking get him."
Oh man, that's the worst text to wake up to. Yo, where are you? At 4.
I was halfway across Pollock Commons when Coach Fisher finally called me. And I'm like, "I'm coming," and I just hung up. Like I didn't even give him any time to say that. Like, I was full sprint. Yeah, I didn't get much sleep that weekend. And I'm not selling out my roommate, but my alarm went off. He was walking out. I'm like, "Yo, wake me up in 15 minutes." And
didn't happen, huh?
It happened.
So I remember a quick OB story, and not really a story, but a moment. I don't think I ever told anyone this, but I remember it was me and Richie Anderson. Remember Rich? We're just on a knee in Haluba. It might have been that Wisconsin week, or it was late in the season because it was cold. That's why we were in Haluba. We're just on a knee doing a water break or something. OB walks past. He goes, you guys are going to play in some bowl games. And we're like, okay, where? He's like, nah, you guys are going to be good. And just thinking like, just foreseeing, I don't know, this is before everything came out, obviously, with the release of the band, bowl band. I remember sitting there like, that made me feel good. I also thought he was going to be our coach throughout that time.
Or maybe that was some foreshadowing when he said, "You guys." Not you should have told me about that shit, B.
He's like, "I'm out of here." Yeah.
I was a young buck. I'm just, on my ear thinking like, "Oh yeah, cool." That's fun.
Well, I didn't mean to cut you off, Adam. Did you have any other spectacular points to bless us with that you didn't tell the UMass guys before you got on here?
No. What was my question?
Well, you gave us. I just asked for top Penn State moments. You gave us the locker room.
Oh,
anything off the field.
One more on the field is like my first ever touchdown at Penn State. We're in the huddle against Purdue, and it was on the goal line. And Christian looks at me like right before we break the huddle, because it's like a bootleg, and he's like grabs me as he always does, and he's like, "Get your head around." That was his first thing, because they were going to bring pressure off the edge, and I was like, "What's he?" I didn't even know what you were talking about at the time, and then sure enough, I was like, clicked right as the play started. He's like, "Oh, he means look for the ball early," and then threw me my first touchdown. That was nice to you, Christian. Off the field, yeah, a lot of good memories off the field, man. Yeah, we had a good Nittany Apartments, good time. 1101 Nittany Apartments.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a good time, man.
1101 and Whipple. Shout out to young Whipple.
Yeah,
you guys.
Yeah, Austin Whipple. Shout out Austin Whip, the roommate from back in the day.
I think a lot of those stories from off the field should be better off kept in a ball.
Fair enough. I appreciate
we had fun, but we were good. We were good kids.
Very good.
For the most
part.
We
were. Yeah, we were.
Good college kids.
I think yeah. Whatever that definition means loosely.
I remember here's another Bill O'Brien story. So when we were off campus, so if you remember, like freshman year, I enrolled early. B-Bell, you weren't early. No, you weren't an early enroller. So I was early. So I lived in the Nittany Apartments when all the rest of the freshmen lived in the dorms. So I had 1101 Nittany Apartments when you guys all got there.
Privilege.
So of course, like because I had an apartment, we were the gathering spot for all the team, right? So all the players would come over. You guys would all come to 1101. We would throw some gatherings at 1101 Nittany Apartments my freshman year, and. So, but you weren't allowed to do that at Nittany Apartments. It's an on-campus apartment. It's a dry campus, no alcohol, no parties, no noise after like 10 p.m. Well, we threw a lot of parties, obviously, and had some fun. Freshman year, I remember I got written up one time. I got written up by the campus, not like the police, like the campus security, whatever. Like they wrote my name up and they emailed. Maybe it was Kirk Deal, like someone at Penn State. They emailed, and it got to Bill O'Brien that I got written up. So freshman year, I'll never forget this. I'm in the weight room working out with Fitz, and O'Brien comes over the balcony at the weight room, and he's like, "Breneman!" And I'm like, I look up, and he's like, "Come here." So I like run up the stairs, and he's like, "Come here." And we walk to his office, and I sit down, and he's like, "You got written up last weekend?" I was like, coach. Like, I thought he was like kind of joking around. I'm like, coach. Like, yeah, I got written up. It won't happen again. He's like, how many? This is before the freshman season. He said, how many passes have you called at Penn State? And I was like, none. And he goes, and you will never fucking catch one if you get written up again. And then he's like, go back to the weight room. And that was it.
I could see his stern ass face.
I thought he was like half joking when he brought me up. He was like, they wrote you up. You know, he wasn't joking.
Oh man.